December 18th, 2017, PD Officers. Yeah, I was here last Monday, remember? About that stolen vehicle report I made?
No, I wasn't here. Refresh my memory.
Last Monday, I had that van stolen, and you supposedly entered into the FBI database, and I checked the database, and it wasn't...
How do you check the database when you're not a police officer?
How does anyone freaking get your email from Equifax?
How did you check the database?
Doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that I made a report and you defrauded me. Your department defrauded me.
No, it's actually still in the system. It's showing stolen. So
the officer last week told me that it wasn't still in the system.
It is. We
okay.
Checked it out.
Again?
We looked into it, yeah.
Oh, so, well, that's...
What can I do for you?
Well, what can you do for me is I'm going to court in a few weeks, and apparently I'm going to have to subpoena you because you're being untruthful with me.
How's that?
Because I made a stolen vehicle report.
It's still showing outstanding, meaning it's still...
No, I checked it, and it's not showing outstanding, and it was not outstanding as a stolen vehicle.
It is.
So apparently somebody's playing some games, and you're... Well, here's the problem. The officers that I accused of participating in stealing from me are now in federal prison. And you told me...
That has nothing to do with us.
Well, here's how it does have something to do with you.
Well, I think you're in the wrong office.
This is the office where I made the report,
what can
right?
I do for you?
You know, I've already sued you once. I can do it again, and I'm getting better at it.
What can I do for you?
I think it's a good idea if I speak with the command officer, because I have several more vehicles that these officers stole from me, and I want you to take reports on them as well. And then you did advise me to go talk to the officers that have supposed jurisdiction. This jurisdiction, I don't know that that's really should be so prevalent. What that allows you to do is help corrupt police officers. You told me to go to those officers. I'm going to actually take you up on that.
You're talking to me.
I admit that. Not you personally.
I told you to do nothing. So
you personally are probably a nice guy. Okay, I have that situation where I always do that. I view, you, us against them. When I say you, what I mean is the Highway Patrol. I'll try to make sure that's clear. The Highway Patrol office, the personnel here.
Here in this office?
Yes, here in this office.
Who told you in this office to do what you're saying?
I believe it was one of the commanding officers, because that's when I sued you, and which finally forced you to take a report in the first place, which I shouldn't have had to do.
No, you actually came in here. I remember the day back in 2015 when you came in here to file that stolen report.
And you wouldn't do it.
There was a lawsuit that made us file that stolen report. You simply came
But in the background, there was a pending lawsuit.
Let me finish. You simply came in here, gave us the plate number, and we filed the stolen report for you. So I don't see what the problem is here.
The problem is, it wasn't...
It's still showing outstanding, meaning it hasn't been recovered yet. So there's nothing we can do for you on that vehicle. We've done all we can do for you. We took the stolen report, and it's still showing outstanding.
Okay, nothing you're saying is true.
Everything I'm saying is true.
Okay, you made the pretense of entering it into the FBI database.
No, we entered it in, and we entered it in. It's in the system. We ran it the other day when you came in. It's still showing outstanding.
No, she said the exact opposite. She told me last week. She told me last week there's the exact thing she said to me is actually.
Plate number, I'll run it and I'll show you that it's still.
Okay, so you put it back in again, and then when I leave, you'll take it out again. Correct?
That's absurd.
Okay, so isn't it odd?
First of all, we can't put it in and take it out. It has to be recovered to take it out. We can't just put a car in and take it right back out.
So how is it that it wasn't listed as stolen when I queried to the database?
Was It was stolen. I looked at it myself. It was stolen. It's still showing stolen. I can run it again if you'd like. If you want to give me the plate, I'll run it again right here. I'll print it out and show it to you.
Okay, I'll take that because I'm going to use that in court.
You can't have the paperwork. You can look at it, but you will not get the paperwork.
Fine.
Right here, it says it's taken between, this is from when you said taken between October 2013 and January 2014 from San Bernardino County. Both plates are on the vehicle. It's still showing outstanding. It's saying if found, immediately confirm with San Luis Obispo CHP, which is our office. That's our phone number. Victim data. This is your name right here. Is that you? Stephen?
Yeah.
Van Bergen?
So how is it that the officer last Monday told me that it wasn't listed as being stolen anymore?
It was misread. I just explained that to you.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, you're prepared
This
to...
is the same paperwork that she just gave me.
So how could she misread that? What did she misread? How could you possibly misinterpret that?
It's called a mistake. You've never made a mistake?
Yeah, I made plenty of mistakes.
Well,
but I mean, where's the area where it says stolen or not stolen?
This is what comes up. That if it wasn't stolen, this line wouldn't be on this paperwork right here.
If it wasn't stolen...
Exactly. So if you ran, if you had...
So in other words, she looked at that page and she didn't see those lines.
How did you get here?
I came here on a scooter.
So if I ran your scooter, this wouldn't be on here showing that it's stolen.
Okay, you think that everyone in this earth is an idiot? You think that you're going to convince a jury that someone looked at a piece of paper like that and concluded that it wasn't... See, I checked and it wasn't listed as stolen. She checked and she also...
You did not check.
See, what happened was
You don't have access to this system.
What happened was she wasn't really part of the buddy network here, which is.
I think we're done. I don't think I can help you any further at this point. So
Look, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you a lot of grief, and I'm trying to save you.
Can help you with?
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can help me
What else
with.
can I help you with?
Okay, these officers that are now in federal prison, you told me to go make my stolen vehicle report to them.
You, and that's not me.
Okay, the
I
CHP.
don't understand what I can do for you today to help you out.
Well, you're not being very cooperative, and you're not helping.
I've been very cooperative. I told you exactly. You came in here asking about this plate, and I told you what.
And I'm telling you, I looked up the FBI database, and it wasn't listed as stolen. Oh.
You don't have access to it.
Oh, I see. So no one had. So what about the private information of every undercover officer in the United States? It's out there. You want to go on the dark web and find it? It's for sale. Because the internet and computers are not solid systems. There's no such thing as a solid system anywhere in the universe. They're all penetratable.
Okay, that information means nothing to me.
So you asked me how I got into it. How anybody gets into the computer? You do a SQL attack or something. You get into it.
The information you received was wrong.
I see. So because I'm not a police officer, it gives me a different answer.
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm okay. I think I understand what's going on. So the issue is, what about the rest of the vehicles which these officers are accused of participating in the theft of, which this office refused to take a report for? Are you now going to send me again to them to make a report to them? Because I'll do that. I'll go to the prison where they're at, and I'll say, here, Officer Diaz. I'll say, here, Officer Bakersfield PD Mara. I'll say, here's the police report I want you to file now from federal prison. That's what I'm going to do. And you know what? You think you have me over a barrel or something, but I can remind you that the tide is turning. And what I said in 2013 against these officers, and I filed papers in court. See, so your office is not gonna look that bad. You may look like you're a little bit dragging your feet, or you might look a little bit incompetent. The court's going to look downright corrupt because I filed an actual court filing against these officers, and I was blown out of the court, basically ridiculed and told to go stuff it. And it's in writing on court. It's in writing on court letterhead. So I think the court's not going to look too great. Unfortunately, the main judge that issued that ruling is now dead. But I think there's other people that probably are involved that, heads can roll is what I'm saying. So we're having a situation here where corrupt officers have victimized myself and my mother, who is handicapped, and who more than likely, whose death was brought on by the fact that police and people who are supposed to support the law did not.
So that'll fall in the jurisdiction of the San Bernardino County, which is the sheriff's department. So
I have several vehicles. I have several vehicles that were stolen from Bakersfield, and I want to file more stolen vehicle reports, and I want to list on there the suspects who are the Bakersfield police officers, Mara and Diaz, like I said 2 or 3 years ago, and now I've been proven correct. You can go on the internet. You can go watch their movie. Disney made a movie about these guys. Go watch it. It's called McFarland. It's about illegal aliens who are good runners and who overcome their background. McFarland is a city up there, and then some reason the Bakersfield PD elected to take these high school guys who were good runners, champion cross-country runner, one of them, and make him into a detective. I don't know how being a good runner makes you a candidate for a detective, but of course in their mind it does. So what I'm hoping to do is get paperwork from you which lists these officers as suspects, and I will go to prison.
You won't be getting that kind of paperwork from us because that's not something we can investigate because it's in a different county. You're going to have to take you're going to have to take it over there. You're going to have to just make a trip out there and bring your case out there because we can't help you here.
Why did you help me one time with this van?
Because the van, we're just reporting it stolen. That's all we're doing. We're not naming suspects or anything like that.
Okay, so I want to report other vehicles stolen.
You have the license plates?
Yeah, I'm going to get all that together.
You have the registration?
Yes, I do. I have the ownership, I have the pink slip, I have everything. See, the cops are such efficient thieves out there in Bakersfield.
But just so you know, if we find those vehicles on your property, you will be arrested.
You're not going to find them on my property.
I'm just telling you. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind.
Oh, now you're threatening me.
No.
So I'm a victim of crime, and now you're threatening me.
I'm just telling you the consequences when you sign for a stolen report.
Right.
That's what.
And you told me some similar thing when I made this report here. You said, the people that stole.
We say that to everybody, sir.
You said something similar to that. You said, okay, now this is going to be a stolen vehicle. So if they get caught driving it, they're going to be pulled over at gunpoint. I said, yeah, that's fine. I hope you shoot them. Because it's probably going to be cops. And they're probably driving my van, and they're probably picking up their little Explorer Scouts, the one they diddle.
Okay, before you get all excited, why don't you go get your license plates, and then come on back, and we'll write those reports for you.
Okay.
We'll get those stolen reports.
And they'll be in the FBI database as stolen.
We'll enter them in just like we entered your van.
Okay, well, you're talking about 25 vehicles here.
25 vehicles.
I have at least 25 vehicles stolen, yes. Several vandalized, about, I may be exaggerating, maybe 20. They're talking about rare motorcycles.
As long as all those vehicles are in your name, then we have no problem taking a stolen report for those.
Not all of them are in my name. Some of them
They'll
are.
have to be in your name for us to take a stolen report.
Okay, well, I have some that are in my name, and some that I have the pink slip for.
Well, then you have to put them in your name.
Okay, so you're saying now I'm a victim of crime, and now I have to go to the DMV and get the pink slip switched over to my name, which is going to cost me money. And I guess I have to pay probably the registration too, so that the cops that stole these things could drive it, I suppose is what you're saying now.
Well, how do we know the pink slips aren't stolen?
Okay, I bought a vehicle in the San Fernando Valley from a guy. He gave me the pink slip.
When you buy a vehicle, you're required to notify DMV within 15 days. So you should be on that registration when we run it as a release of liability. And if you're not on there, then we can't help you. Then you'll have to start at the DMV.
And get it in my name. Okay. Well, I mean, that's doable. It's just a big expense. It's just showing how you're really not acting as a public servant. You're still
Absolutely,
trying to cover for corrupt cops.
No, we're absolutely helping. We're here to help you out.
I see. So when you told me to go to these corrupt cops and make my crime reports, you were helping me out. Is that what you're saying?
What?
When I came in here to make the initial report on that van that was stolen,
Yeah.
and I was trying to make reports on other vehicles, you told me to go to
Well, I didn't tell you anything.
your office.
So that's hearsay. 'Cause
You look
I-
familiar. You're here all the time. You're like a sergeant or something, right?
No.
You're some.
That's hearsay. You can't say what somebody else said if they're not here to defend themselves.
Okay, well then bring the commanding officer out here or the person in charge. Who's in charge right now? You?
Right now, I am.
You're the ranking guy. Okay, so you had, I mean, arrayed against me, of course, because before you got this bulletproof glass, I guess you thought I was going to jump over the counter and ring everybody's
We
neck.
didn't get the glass for you. I mean,
I think you did. Well, I think there's a bunch of.
that important.
No, I don't really think I'm that important. There's probably a lot of people coming here very
This
pissed
stuff
off.
costs quite a bit of money. So
I know, exactly. And this says it all right here. This says it all. You're not even pretending to be public servants anymore. You're now clearly an occupying army.
Have you been to the Templeton office?
No, is it
That's
worse?
the same thing.
Oh, that's because a bunch of redneck white,
All the offices in the state are
a bunch of white rednecks up there, all heavily armed. I don't blame you.
You're going way off the subject here. So
That's kind of the reason, though, isn't it?
So why don't
A bunch
you-
of heavily
why
armed
don't you come
rednecks
back
up there.
with the registrations, and then we can help you out.
Okay, I'll be happy to do that. But you understand now that the momentum has turned, and that I'm going to go full speed ahead on these thefts against these cops. And the media now is taking kind of an interest in this because this is interesting to them. And they make money off stories, even though they're fake news. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They're wondering, why is it that someone's handicap van costing $65,000 and you take no interest at all in that? Because you know that the cops are the ones that stole it. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? A handicap van, a woman can't go to a doctor about our handicap van. It's a brand new Mercedes, which I have the receipts for, and you take zero interest. This office, not you, I won't say you, this office took zero interest in recovering that van. Is that not correct? Took zero interest.
This van here?
No, that's another van. That's another van. I tried to report my mother's handicap van that was stolen, and you totally blew
Do
me
you have
off.
the registration at the time?
I'm not on it. She owned it.
Well, then we can't take a stolen report if she's not here. She has to report it stolen.
She can't because she is handicapped.
Well, she can go down to any. Where does she live?
Well, she's dead now because she couldn't get to the doctor because her handicap van was stolen. So what you're saying is that she
Are
needs.
you next to kin?
Yes, my mother. Yes, I think my mother's handicap van was stolen, and this office took zero interest in helping to recover it.
Bring in the paperwork that says you're next to kin and the registration, and we'll help you out.
Oh, you will?
Yes.
Oh, that's a surprise because you surely were not interested in helping me before. What you just said was that she has to get her.
I seriously doubt that. I wasn't here, so.
What you just said is ridiculous. You said that she has to get her handicap van back in order to drive here, in order to report the handicap van stolen. Is that not absurd?
Just bring the registrations that you want to report vehicles stolen, as long as they're in your name or you're
Right.
next to kin for your mom,
Right.
and then we'll make the stolen report.
Okay. I'm going to do that. It's in particular 2 motorcycles. Again, I have several, a couple, maybe dozen, maybe 20 motorcycles that were stolen. And cops are more than likely driving them. So I'll get as many pieces of paperwork and photographs as I can.
Well, I don't need photographs because we're just going to fill out the paperwork, and then once it goes into the system, if those vehicles are found anywhere, then like I said, you'll be notified of that.
Okay, and like I said, I did want to take you up on that advice you gave me, which was to go to the officers and make the report. I do want to go to the officers. I'm going to go to the federal prison where they're now housed for selling crack cocaine and methamphetamine to high school students. I'm going to go to that prison and I'm going to ask them where the rest of my belongings are because they stole about $60,000 worth of tools from me as well, and guitars and amps and all kinds of things, including some of my mother's walkers, because before she became totally handicapped, she could walk with the aid of a walker. And they stole those things and apparently sold them at garage sales. And they had the help of some other people in Bakersfield. Now, I'm going to go forward on these lawsuits, and I certainly hope you're going to help me out. You are going to help me out, right?
I'm not gonna act on your behalf.
I mean, your office is going to help me out. I mean, my opinion of these officers who sell.
Okay. So we have another customer coming in here. Okay.
Right.
So I don't want to have to throw you out of here. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So look, you don't need to worry.
Go get the registrations. Come back and we'll help you out.
Great. Thanks a lot. All right, that was fun. September 18th, 2017, CHP office, San Luis Obispo. Signing off.